Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to explain why your personal happiness is the purpose of life, and it's clearly so. Even anyone who argues with this still has to acknowledge this fact in the end. I mean, it's an absurd proposition to say that your own happiness is not the purpose of life. To begin with, this stems from basically the fact that happiness is the good experience, and all you have is your experience. So happiness is the good personal experience. Pleasure and pain are only real mechanisms of feeling good or negative. And happiness is in uncontradictory sort of long-term pleasure. So ultimately, happiness is the good experience. It's the good that is possible in life. And therefore it is essentially the purpose of life. So anyone who really tries to argue with this, the two main propositions that I've heard in response are, it's not your happiness, it's other people's happiness. Live for other people's happiness, or live for God. Sacrifice your happiness for God. And ultimately, both of these claims, they're quickly followed by something that immediately contradicts them. When someone says, live for other people, live for other people's happiness, they almost always follow it with, because that's ultimately what will make you happy. Because every ounce of their body is screaming at them. Every ounce of their soul, their body is screaming at them that happiness is the purpose of life, that happiness is what they want, that happiness is truly what they want, but they can't say it for some reason, because they don't want to believe that. They don't want to be selfish. They don't want to. Yeah, it's stupid. And the other one, God. And always live for God, because you'll go to heaven. And in heaven, why do you want to go to heaven? Because you'll be happy. That's so clearly the purpose of everything. That's the purpose of life, is happiness. So yeah, even these people who claim that your own personal happiness is not the meaning of life, they acknowledge it. They acknowledge that fact. And we can do a similar sort of thing with and we can see clearly how vapid these other sort of views are with the question of, why do you not commit suicide? Why would you not want to end your life? Because ultimately that shows your purpose for continuing to live. For the people who claim that God is the ultimate meaning, is the ultimate purpose of life, their reasoning would be, oh, God said it's a sin, so I'm not going to kill myself because God doesn't want me to. And this doesn't work. Because every single doubt that you have about God is a credible doubt. It's a doubt that your mind is screaming at you to integrate and say that it's not true, because God is an arbitrary assertion. So every single doubt that you have about God will be an extremely credible, because God is arbitrary, an extremely credible attack on your purpose of life in general. And it'll lead you to feeling extremely depressed, and ultimately, depending on how honest you are with yourself, you may feel suicidal, because every single doubt that you have about God is a doubt about the fact that life has purpose. And if life has no purpose, there's no point in living. And then you also have the people who claim that you want to stay alive because of other people, because of what you give to other people. You don't want to make other people sad, so you shouldn't kill yourself. This is the logical conclusion of the putting other people's happiness before your happiness. That's the logical conclusion with the question of suicide. And this ultimately fails too, because what if other people don't like you? What if you feel like other people don't like you? Then your meaning is void, pretty much. You don't have, you lost your meaning. You lost your purpose of living. And that will also lead you to being very depressed, and ultimately, depending on how honest you are, suicidal. Because everybody thinks that people don't like them at some point. And the purpose is getting over that. The purpose is realizing your own personal value, your own potential for happiness in life, and ultimately ignoring other people's evaluations of you. Now, of course, you have to an extent. You can't be irrationally opposed to other people's evaluations. If someone makes a rational evaluation of you, a rational judgment of you, a rational criticism of you, the best thing you can do is listen to that criticism. Don't push other people away in that circumstance. A lot of people conflate selfishness with the people who when they hear a criticism or hear someone say something rationally negative about them, they say that the selfish thing to do there is push that person away. Stay with your whims and all that, or hold strong to your whims, hold strong to your irrationality. And that's wrong. That's not actually selfish. Selfishness is not whatever you feel like. Selfishness is what's going to make you happy, what's actually going to make you happy. If you actually look at these terrible people that people are like, oh, this person was so selfish, this shows that you can't be selfish and be happy. I jumped to my conclusion too fast. This shows that selfishness is bad because of this person. They're ultimately pointing to someone who's not happy. And are you really behaving selfish if you're not happy, if you're not putting your happiness first? Because these people that people call selfish are not acting in the best interest of their happiness. They're acting based on whatever they feel at the moment. And that's not selfish. That's not in your best interest. But yeah, ultimately, happiness is the meaning of life, and anybody who contradicts that ultimately resorts back to happiness as their final defense, or doesn't have a good understanding of what an actual purpose of life is, and doesn't have a solid purpose of life, because there's always credible doubt. What if, like with the God thing, God's probably not real. God's an arbitrary assertion. Every doubt you have about him is a very credible doubt. Other people are so fucking whimsical, and there's always going to be someone who hates you. There's always going to be a good multitude of people that hate you, probably. If you're, I mean, depending on who you are, depending on your experiences, there's going to be a good amount of people that hate you, or dislike you, I guess. Hate's a strong word. But yeah, there's always going to be a decent amount of people that dislike you, and that will lead to a credible doubt as well, because there's a credible doubt about people not liking you because people don't like you. Not everybody likes you. That's a fact of life. You need to have a pride in yourself. You need to develop an ego, so that's a really loaded term. I know I use that pretty provocatively and intentionally, but you need to develop an ego, develop some pride, and have some confidence in yourself. Have some confidence in your happiness as the standard, because then you will live a happy life. You will find purpose in life. Put happiness first. Put your happiness first. That's absolutely key. Because then nobody can give you a credible doubt, because you know who you are, and you build your rationality, and you build yourself to be a more rational person, and take pride in that, and take pride in yourself. And I mean, that ultimately goes down to the essence of who you are, because you are you yourself, essentially. So when you take pride in yourself, when you have a positive evaluation of yourself, and there's no way to credibly doubt that, because that is the essence of who you are. I hope that made a little bit of sense. But I think this has ultimately been a very insightful video for anyone watching this, and very, very insightful for me as well, because I mean, it's just so clear how important happiness is. But yeah, this is the video to watch. This is the video to watch if you want to start down the journey of becoming a happy person. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say for today. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Peace.